Hey there, it's Kathy with Be Creative with Kathy, and as promised, this afternoon I told you I would do another card tonight, another one of my swap cards. This card looks like this. We're going to use a stamp set that will become available tomorrow. It's an online exclusive and it'll be released tomorrow. I love this stamp set. I knew I would, but there's a couple surprises that as we go along I'll share with you what this surprised me, that didn't surprise me, or whatever, but I really do like this Arched Wishes stamp set, so we're going to use that. Now, this card is called OnStage Swap number 3, so if you go to my gallery and you find OnStage Swap number 3, you'll get the measurements for the card and all the supplies that I used tonight. So that's on my gallery, becreativewithkathy.com. I'm a little nervous, well, I'm always nervous, but tonight's card is, well, let's just see what happens, okay? And we're going to do some heat embossing, so we're going to start that way. And we're going to start with this stamp here. Now, in the case, it doesn't look that big, but if you look, it's a huge stamp. Now, that's one of the ones I want to prepare you for, that if you get a stamp, this stamp set, just be prepared that you need large blocks. So, hi, Linda. The biggest block that Stampin' Up sells is what this would fit on, and my hands are like arthritic. They don't work so well. So I'm actually going to use my stamp positioning tool. It's called the Stamparatus, and Stampin' Up used to sell it. They don't anymore, but I'm going to use that for this great big stamp, okay? I have a piece of, what color is this? Summer Splash. There we go. It's an in color. Love it. I'm going to just kind of set it up here on my paper where I think it would, well, where it's going to work. And then with the arch dies, which I didn't realize how much I was going to love these arch dies. I think these are great. I'm going to take the largest die here. Well, maybe they're stuck together. Okay, let me see. And I'm going to kind of position that where I think it's going to go. Try not to get the magnets for my Stamparatus to stick to it. Where it's going to go, something, oh, like that. Let's tape this down, and that way it won't jump to the magnets again, maybe. I don't remember having this trouble before, but maybe I didn't use my magnets. Okay, we're going to hold that where we want it, right? And then I'm going to take this. Now, it doesn't have to be perfect. I just want to make sure it's somewhere on my paper, so when I die cut that arch out, it's cut outable, like it won't be hanging off, if that makes sense. So then I'm going to go ahead and just pick up that stamp. Let's remove this. We'll use that in just a second to cut it out. Okay, I'm going to use an embossing buddy on my paper here because I want to get all the static off when we do those the heat embossing. Okay, I'm going to be very generous. It's really dry here in Denver, Colorado, and the static is out of control. So let's do that. And then we'll use some Versamark and ink this up good. And we're going to stamp that great big arch on there. So that's one of the things. I love the big bold stamps, but if you plan to buy this stamp set, you got to make sure you have blocks that can accommodate these stamps. Okay, we're going to press that down, and oh, we're going to do it all over again. Oh no, wait, maybe it's just a glare that I couldn't see it on there. But we're going to heat emboss, and I want a nice dark image because these are big bold stamps, and it looks really good when you put that embossing powder and heat emboss on there. Okay, one more because I don't know what I'm doing wrong, or maybe I'm just not pressing in the right areas, but like I said, I want to make sure it has a good coverage there. This R right here is not cooperating. Oh no, I think he's fine. Okay, now we need some embossing powder. I'm going to use black. So I'm going to peel this off. Now I'll take this over with my Stampin' Scrub and some Stampin' Mist and scrub that stamp good to get that Versamark off because it's a sticky ink. And I think the Stampin' Scrub is a really good tool to use if you're using Versamark. But looky there. Look how big and bold and solid that is. Okay, I'm going to set this aside. We'll do all of our heat embossing at once. Let's do a little bit more stamping. So you see here, I have a yellow card base, just 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then I've cut out another white one with the largest arc, just like we're going to do on the first piece of paper, the splash. I lost the, I can't think of, summer splash. There we go. But on this one, I want to just stamp this happy birthday, another image out of that stamp set, and I'm going to heat emboss it too. So about where it starts to arch is where I'm going to, oh, wait. I almost forgot. We have to embossing buddy. We got to get that static off our paper. And I don't want those extra flicks to stick. And when I say flicks, I mean just the little flakes of the, or the shavings of the embossing powder. So that helps with that. Okay. Straight up and straight down. Try to get it straight across two. And there we have that. You probably can't see it. I can see it. But then I'm going to take here, get that embossing powder on there. There we go. I'll kind of tap him on the back. I have a paintbrush here just in case, but look, I don't see any extra flakes or anything. So, or shavings, I guess, whatever you call that stuff. Okay, one more thing we have to emboss, and that is that great big cupcake. So then I've cut, and let's see which one this is. This was the largest arch. Excuse me. That was the largest arch. This one is, oh, and I've lost some here. So this white one is 1, 2, 3, 4, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, the fifth smallest from the inside. And then the pink one that's going to go under that one would be the sixth, because really it's this way, right? That's what I cut out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So fifth one is this white, and the sixth one is this pink. Okay, that way if you decide to make the card, I don't know, you can see too which one the cupcake fits on, and then that way you know where to go or which one to use. So let's go ahead here, and I'm going to ink up that cupcake really good. Another big image, because this is a E block, so this isn't a small block either, and it fits that whole cupcake on there. Did I emboss somebody that? We're going to emboss somebody him too. I couldn't remember if I put it on there or not. Got too much going on. Is it dry there too, Glinda? Do you have to use the embossing buddy a lot? I'm going to set this down just so it kind of sits at the bottom of my cardstock here, and just press that down. Get a good image there. Hi, Alicia Ray, how are you? There we go. Now, once again, you probably can't see it. I'm going to pick my paper up and hold it with my reverse tweezers, just so I can hang on to it to get some embossing powder on there. Tap it off. Let's check for extra little shavings that we don't want on there. Any under my tweezers? Nope. And so there we go. And I think, let me think for a second, that's all of our heat embossing. So let's go ahead. Hi, Marcia. I'm going to go ahead and turn my heat gun on and let it get warm for a second and get these pieces ready to melt that embossing powder onto my paper. We'll kind of clean up while I'm doing that. Put my cursor mark away. Put my stamp away. And let's go ahead and see what happens. Now, I can't know if I can tell or not, but when that powder starts to look like plastic again, or it doesn't look like a powder anymore, the embossing, then you know it's all heat. And I want to make sure, oops, I turned my gun off, I shouldn't have done that. I want to make sure that I get it all done, because I don't want it to flake off after. Make sure it's all melted good on there. But that bold stamp set like that makes it pretty easy to get the embossing powder where you want it. And you can see when it turns, like I said, from that powder back to like a plastic on your paper. Okay, so there we go. Now we have, I'm going to do one more check here to make sure it's all melted on there, because I'd hate to have in the middle of my card making. Oh, and you know what? Shazam, I forgot one more piece that we have to emboss. And that is this piece right here. This, in fact, is the last of my Pretty in Pink glimmer paper. And I almost forgot, we need to take that ice cream, or the cupcake, and I'm only going to ink up, or as close as I can, the frosting on that cupcake. And when I stamp it here on my glimmer paper, did you know you can heat emboss on glimmer paper? Wait, it turns out really pretty. But see, I'm gonna make sure that the frosting part of the cupcake is in the glimmer. And I might get my head in the camera, but I wanna be sure that I don't miss. And like I said, this is the very end of my glimmer paper. I used it all. Now I can't decide, do I buy some more glimmer paper or I just wait and see if it carries forward. I'll probably just go buy some more. Okay, I'm gonna hold the edges again. Where did my embossing powder go? I can't believe I almost forgot to do the cupcake. Yeah, I struggle to remember to use the embossing buddy too. There we go, but now you can see on that glimmer paper. Now, when you go to melt the embossing powder on the glimmer paper, it's a little harder to see. So I might have to hold it in close, or I might get my head in the camera. I'm pretty good at that. But I'm gonna watch. Oh, and since my heat gun is warm, it's gonna go fast. And then let me give it one more examination here to make sure there's no powder on there. Nope, it's all. But look how pretty that is with that embossing on the glimmer paper. Nice. Okay, so let's let's go on. So I'm going to take this little cupcake here, and I'm going to use my Daffodil Delight markers. Nope, Stampin' Blends. And I'm going to color that bottom of the cupcake. Now I'm going to be careful that I don't go over the embossing that we've just put on there, the heat embossing. I'm going to just go next to it as best I can. If you go over, I learned the hard way, you'll get some black on your yellow, and we really don't want that. So I'm going to be careful and try not to hit those lines. Just go in between them. Get right up to the edge though. And like I said, this is light Daffodil Delight Stampin' Blends. And it doesn't have to be, like we're not gonna blend and, wait, I can't do two things at once. Let me just color in my yellow here real quick. There we go, like that. That looks pretty good. But then we're gonna take the dark, and I'm even gonna turn it upside down, and I'm gonna just take that bullet tip and run it along the side, and this way that'll give just the shading that we need with that cupcake. And the stamp set has done all the work for us, and if you follow those little lines, you just get a little bit of shading like that. Nice. Okay, so now let's do the, I keep calling it a straw, but really it's a candle, and I'm going to use light Summer Splash and dark Summer Splash. So let me make sure I have the light, and I'm just going to go every other one here with the light. There we go. And then with the dark, now normally I use the bullet tip, but I want the dark to be really dark, so I'm going to use the paintbrush tip. At least on this marker, it seems to be that the paintbrush tip is even a little darker than the bullet tip, because it comes with both. And then I'm even going to go over it again and get that really as dark as I can, so it has just a little bit of shading there. And then if you look at my candle, not my straw, look how cute that is with those two tones. And it's just enough that it's not too much, is what I'm trying to say. And I didn't have to do any work. I let Stampin' Up! Do all the work for me. Okay, so while I have this out here, we're going to do one more thing to it. We're going to take, now this is Lemon Lolly ink, and where did I do? Here we go. And I'm going to use a Stampin' Majig. Now, I don't know if you guys have a Stampin' Majig, but to me, with red rubber stamps and little images like this, that's a great positioning tool. So with that stamp in the stamp set that's like the burst or like the light of the candle, I don't know what it is, we're going to put that at the top of the candle. And if I just tried to center it up there, there's no way I could see where it's going to go. So I'm going to give you a couple tips that I suggest you do. First of all, hang on. I'll never be able to see Lemon Lolly on my plastic sheet here. So I'm going to use Memento Black, and then I'll clean it, and then I'll go back to the Lemon Lolly. So make sure I have that too. I'm also going to take an X because if you turn this, right, I'll never remember how I have it set up to begin with. So I'm going to just use a permanent marker and put a little X on my block, and then I know that's up in the right-hand corner. So if I set it down and then pick it up again, I'll know for sure that I have it in the right place. Okay, got my black Memento ink. I've got my, what is this called? Plastic sheet? That's what I'll call it. I'm making sure that it slips in and out. It's not under the handle. It just slips up in and up there, or up and in there. And then I'm going to stamp my little burst. That's what I'm going to call him. Okay? So now we know where he's going to stamp. Let's get that black ink off of there. Because now we're going to put Lemon Lolly. And I don't want lemon or Memento ink in my Lemon Lolly ink pad. Okay, let's make sure he's clean. Where did my scratch paper go? Here it is. There we go. And now I'm going to take this piece here and I'm going to set it onto my paper where I want it. See how that burst should go right there on my paper? I'm making sure too that I have an area here that when I put my handle back in there, it's going to hold that paper down for me. So let's make sure I have it exactly where I want it. In fact, I want to turn it just a little bit more like that. I'm going to set this down. Now, I always like to check it. So I take this away and then I put it back. See, and I didn't have it where I want it. So let me check my handle's not in the right position. There we go. I'll pull it away. Is it back? No, it's not cooperating. I think because my paper is so short here. There we go. Now I have it where I want it. And now when I stamp that down, it's going to be in the perfect position. I should have opened my ink pad. Tried to open my ink pad. Oh, Paul. Sorry about that. A quick visit from Paul. And now he's stepping on my keyboard. Okay, are we all good? Doggone it. Nothing like a cat in the middle of my video. Okay, there we go. We're still in good spot. Now here, there's my ink, my spot, or my X up in the right-hand corner where we needed it. Now we need a drum roll. I'm going to set my stamp back in the corner and just set it down and lift it up. And look, now I have that little burst exactly where I need it, even using red rubber stamps. Because sometimes red rubber stamps aren't the easiest to get exactly where you want them. Okay, now we have that done. Let's start. Oh, we got to stamp one more thing. Oh, we still have to die cut that. Lots to do. I'm going to stamp on this first. I'm going to bring back in that burst and the Lemon Lolly. And I'm going to just add some, bring that color from the front into the inside of our card. So I'm going to just take and stamp a few of those bursts right around my happy birthday. And then once again, I'm going to clean my stamp. Because then I'm going to do the same thing in Pretty in Pink. That's just another color that's on the front that I want to bring to the inside. So we cleaned him up. Let's find my scratch paper, make sure he's clean. And he is. Where's my Pretty in Pink? And just set that down right about the same place. But now look how pretty that inside is compared to just the heat emboss. I like that idea. Okay, now maybe we're ready to do a little die cutting. Let's bring in that great big arch and we're going to set it here and kind of center it. What I like to do is look at my H's, so it might be crooked here. Try to line my H's up so they're straight, or the tops of my H's, I should say, with this side of my arch over here. Look how close we are over here. I'm going to just scoot it over a little bit. Let's see if that works on there. Whew! We barely made it. In fact, we almost didn't make it. That was too close for comfort. When you do your card, do better than I did. And now it's not sticking. Let me try this again. Make sure it's on the paper. Down here a ways. Does that look pretty straight right there? Looks pretty good. Okay, let's see if it's on the paper. And look, we just barely made it on there, but I think we're gonna be okay. Okay, let's go ahead and die cut it out and see what happens. We might have to stamp him again. So I have my platform number 1. I have my plate or adapter plate number 2. I have a cutting pad that I've cut down. It's a self-healing mat that I just cut down to the same size as my platform. And that's what I like to use on the bottom. And then I'm going to use a clear cutting pad on the top. And now we need a drum roll. Let's go ahead and cut out that arch. Let's see, did we make it? Ooh, maybe not. Let's see how it looks. If it looks too bad. No, look, phew, we barely made it. It has a little problem over here. I'm going to trim it down, and I don't think anybody will ever know the difference. Because it kind of has a straight edge here. And I think if I just take it, no, I'm going to have to do it again. And I don't have another piece of paper. But I surely can't handle swap. Okay, we have to do it again. Hold on just a second. Back up, fast forward. I'm gonna grab a piece of cardstock and my paper trimmer. I knew something like this was gonna happen. This is why I was worried about the video. And this time, I am gonna cut it at 5.5. And use a big old sheet of paper. That way, I'll totally have room for my arch die. Set it back in here. Now we know that it was okay on this side. This side is that we were short on, right? So I'm going to use my embossing buddy. You guys ever have to do this? You have a little oopsie and you got to try again. But I really can't use an arch that's half there and half not. This won't take long. We'll do it right this way. So instant replay, back to Versamark. Make sure, yep, I think it's all there too. Let's do a little bit more around this curve here. There we go. Take that off. Get some embossing powder on there. We have lots of room this time. I think I just flicked embossing powder all over my work area. Oh, we missed our C. There we go. Get those flakes off of there. Melt this real quick. I think you might be lying, Glenda, so thank you. That's really sweet of you. Okay, let's try this one more time, and we'll get it ready here. Get a new piece of Post-it tape. I'm going to really hold it down there. Get it where we want it. Now, look, we don't have to worry about this over here at all. Whew, almost missed at the bottom, though. What do you think about right there? That looks pretty good. Let's try that one. If not, I guess we'll just do it one more time. Bring in my plates. We're going to have to turn it this way this time. Move that down, and let's cut it out. There we go. Now we'll have the perfect arch. No problemo. There we go. So much better. Okay, I think that one more thing. I keep forgetting all the steps we need to take. Let's go ahead and put the card together for now though. Now, the one thing that I don't like about heat embossing is that it warps your paper. Everything else about it, I love. Heat embossing warps your paper. So I'm going to use liquid glue. And if you watched my video this afternoon, this is not happy glue. He is not like fallen out. The other glue came out so fast and it was a huge mess. I fixed my glue, so he won't do that today. That was with card swap number 1. You can go back and see that on my Facebook channel here, or if you're watching me on YouTube, I have it there too. Okay, there we go. So I use glue all over. Now it's stuck together and it's not quite as warped. Okay, this one, because we did on that one too, when I put it on, I'm going to put it on with tape, or am I going to pop it up? No, I'm going to put it on with dimensionals. Let's do it that route. So I'll be generous with the dimensionals. There's a back. There we go. No, I don't want them that close. I have to keep going like this and see if we can't get them. My packing tape on the back of my dimensionals are not doing their job. Usually I don't have to remove dimensional backs because I put the packing tape on the front, and tonight the dimensional backs are not sticking to my packing tape. See how they stick to the packing tape rather than the dimensionals? And then I don't have to pull the dimensionals off the back, or the backings off the back. Dimensionals. Okay, lots of dimensionals, but now he's going to lay flat on my card. We're going to lay him centered here on the front. And then we're going to put a few more dimensionals on this one. And lay that one. I'm going to just try to make sure I have the same border here and here and lay that there. Then when I put this one in, I'm going to get the adhesive really close to the side, all the way around, and then that way he'll be stuck down good to the inside. I'll try to get it straight like that. So far, so cute, right? Now, we talked about we heat emboss this little ice cream here. I'm going to take some scissors and I'm going to fussy cut this out. Now, when I cut it out, I'm not going to leave any border. So usually when you fussy cut, you kind of leave that white edge all the way around. This time, I'm being really careful to cut along the edge of that embossing powder that we have on there. I'm also being careful that I'm not really cutting a lot of it out. You can see there's no embossing powder on there either. I'm just going right up next to that edge there. I'm going to just cut the, sorry, tickle in my throat. Cut that off right there. And up here along this tip of the frosting, staying as close as I can. Let's see. Nope, still no black on there either, and no border on here. I'm going to kind of trim it down here. I'm just going to go straight through that candle. And just cut out that frosting. Just like that. So it ends up looking like that. Now we need to get rid of this straw right here. So I'm going to just cut down on the inside of the embossing powder here and cut down on the inside of the embossing powder here. And then I'm even going to cut it along the bottom here and cut that little straw away. So then we have a piece that looks like this. So when you take your liquid glue, where's my fine tip? I want to use a precision tip here. And you put your liquid glue here on your frosting. And I'm making sure I don't have any on the candle. And then you lay your glimmer paper right here on top with that candle showing through, lining everything up. It looks like that. And then you have a really pretty glimmery cupcake. Cute, huh? Hi, Jolene. I'm sorry if I missed everybody else. I've been focused on my card and not focused on who's making comments. I need to work on that. But looky there. I think it turned out really cute. It's a really cute card. Now we just need to put some embellishments on there. And it just so happens that we have these in color shimmer embellishments that I think look really well. I have just a few left of these pretty in pink. So I'm going to plop those on there. And to me, that has a little empty area here. That's where I'm going to start. So I'm going to take an embellishment right there, and that's, I think, the larger one. Wait, this one slip slide. See if I can pick him up with the putty end. And maybe there. What do you think? And then we'll just take another large one. That one's not slip sliding. And we'll take it and just put it down here. Yep, and there you go. All done. Okay, so this is card number 3, right? Oh, thank you, Glenda. I thought the glimmer paper icing looked adorable on there. Okay, so like I was saying, this is my swap number 3. I still have swap number 2, and my hopes is that I'll get some general swaps done because these are for organized swaps. And in all my years of going to convention or on stage, I have never been without general swaps, and right now I don't have any made, and I only have 8 days. Did we talk about that earlier? 8 days. So I'm hoping one more card, hopefully sometime maybe Thursday or Saturday, and then Monday I'll have another card for you. But as I prepare to go to OnStage, I'm going to share everything with you. If you want all the measurements and the supply list, you can go to my gallery, becreativewithkathy.com, and just look. It looks like this. So just search for OnStage 2025 swap number 3. I know, I love swapping. Swapping is one of my favorite things to do at OnStage. I love meeting and talking to other demonstrators and seeing their ideas. The one thing I do want to tell you, if you go to my gallery tonight, I won't have the Arch Wishes stamp set in the supply list because this is an online exclusive that goes live tomorrow. So you can't get it until tomorrow unless you're a demonstrator. But tomorrow I'll update the supply list and Arch Wishes will be on there too. Alrighty, if you have any questions, be sure and let me know. Otherwise, I'll talk to you soon. Take care, and thanks for watching, everybody. Bye-bye.